It took years and years, and not millions, but billions of dollars to finish Epcot, the refurbishment that Disney has been working on since probably 2017, with construction proper in 2019. Now, there are many out there saying that it's arguable whether it's better or worse, and we think that's not a great investment. But we're going to talk about today the changes to Epcot, World Celebration, the new pathway down the middle of the park, as well as Illuminous, the fireworks. We're going to review it right here. You don't want to miss it, so stay tuned and let's find out, is Epcot still the experimental prototype theme park of tomorrow? Hello folks, welcome back to the WDW Pro channel. Today we are journeying back to the theme parks, and no, this time we're not going to be talking about the audit out of Florida, where we are finding out that the theme park business behind the business of Disney was shady indeed. No, this time we're going to be talking about actual shady things like trees and parks and benches, and, well, we're even going to talk about fireworks. We're not going to talk about fountains, though, because those did not make it through from concept to realization. And I think many people out there are realizing that, unlike Universal Studios, when Disney throws out concept art, the concept art often does not translate to what you see in the end, not even close. But we're going to be fair to Epcot. I think I'll surprise you with some of my statements about it. Let's go to the panel right now and let's find out, how did this multi-year, multi-million, dare we say billion, rework of Epcot turn out? Let's find out now. Valiant, welcome aboard. This one has to do with money. I think you'll like it. This, on Twitter, from Old Disney / New Disney, what we wanted, what we got. And it's talking about Epcot. Let's click on these and see what we've got. This, at the top, folks, is this is the concept art that was given when Epcot was originally refurbished, or when they began to do the refurbishment. And at the bottom is what we actually got, which is concrete tables and benches with trees and planters. And I don't think that we're overstating this, that they spent, billions of dollars on Epcot at a time when they really can't afford to spend billions of dollars. And many folks out there would suggest that this is worse than what we had, because there's far less indoor space, air conditioning, etc. And now it is largely, Epcot, the entire center of the theme park looks like a generic park that you could go to in your local city or metro area. This is rather strange. Valiant, given what we're learning about all of the misuse of funds with Disney and Reedy Creek Improvement District, you think they missed the ball and took their eye off the target when it came to the expenditures inside the parks? How else can you explain this degradation in quality, where the park, you spend billions plus and you come out with a lesser product?
Well, I think it's kind of the same pattern we've seen for some time with Disney. I mean, we know for the last several years they were looking at cutting some of the expenses that they were driving into the parks, at least the one in Orlando, it seems. I mean, we've all talked at length about how they went the road of, instead of building the larger Galaxy's Edge that they were supposed to do in Orlando, they merely copied and pasted the one from Disneyland because it's spec'd out to be cheaper. They could just build two parks of the same scale for cheaper than going different routes for each park. And this may be some of the same case here, I would presume, to where we have, okay, we were going to spend $10 million on this little section, but we wanted to cut it back to $5 million. And this is what you wind up getting. And the original concept art, while it looks really pretty, it gets thrown out for cost savings. I'm not sure when this was put into motion.
2017, Valiant, is when they first told the public they were going to do this Epcot overhaul, transform the park, make it be beautiful and amazing again, and bring it up to modern times. So 2017, at their D23 Expo, they announced it, and it's taken that long to plant trees. Now, just this area of Epcot alone is estimated to have cost $400 million plus. That's not including the updates to attractions or to there's a ride, Cosmic Rewind, starring the Guardians of the Galaxies, that we believe that actually cost over $1 billion alone. And again, you came out with something that is at least equal to, but likely less than, what we had before. And it's just it's an amazing waste of money and resources And I think it speaks to an utter incompetence at this company. I think they've thrown merit out the door, and they don't have people who can do the things that they once could have done. They've thrown out the artists and the geniuses, and they've replaced them with the wokesters, with the millennials who make demands but don't make much else.
More than likely, God knows it wasn't due to regulatory red tape at the local level.
You know what gets me even more than the money in a way is the time. What's it been, 4.5 years of construction walls around what a lot of people have been calling the dirt pit?
I'm
in the
hearing
middle of
6,
Epcot?
if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
6,
no.
and the walls are not all the way down yet, aren't they?
No, not yet.
And in the meantime, didn't Universal actually is planning to open early?
Yes.
Yeah, there's I don't know if anyone has mentioned this, the work of people like Theme Park Wizard. They've pointed out that there's an unusual spike in hotel prices for Universal Resort around February. So,
Well, the Lowe's website apparently goofed because they yanked it back down again, but they put up the actual page for one of those 2 hotels at the front of Epic Universe and said opening January 25th.
And
Not the
meanwhile,
park, but the hotel.
it takes Epcot 6 years to put up a water fountain.
And
I
not
do.
just
Well,
the
they
water
actually
fountain.
destroyed the water fountain. They took out the
big one's gone. The
the big
Festival
Fountain of Nations.
or
They
whatever it was. Yeah.
right, and now people are mocking the planter that went in its place because it has a particular how do I say this online? It has a particular appearance that is highly reflective of women's anatomy.
I've heard it's
does?
I've heard it's shaped like a heart.
You mean their arms?
Nope, not their arms, but
No,
a different
Toes.
place where appendages come together.
So, anyways, it looks like we got some more super
speaking-
chats here.
The neck.
Speaking
Well, now
of
I do
women,
want to say, Luke, give your thought, and I want to give mine on this video.
Well, I
we've
gave
been
it to
watching
you
in
the other
background.
day, but I don't think everybody heard about it. We were talking about the use of IP by Disney and how Wish and everything else was never going to become an attraction. And yet Moana, one of their biggest hits, with one of the most favorite characters, they turn into a splash pad. That was the best they could do.
Ah, it's so bad.
I mean, it's such a waste because now they can't do another one.
That's
They've
correct.
done Moana. That's it.
And that's their biggest princess franchise right now, and it will be.
Yeah.
So, folks, on the screen, you're seeing a post from Disney Parks blog. It's Disney's video and part of their press release on Twitter/X. And this is their new fireworks show that
The one without Stargate.
Right, it attempts to replace Harmonious. This is Illuminous. And although I don't think it's as good as Reflections of Earth, where we should give the proper due and credit, we should, and so I will. This fireworks show that they have now added at Epcot, while I think the middle of the show is not up to par, I think overall this is a good fireworks show. It will draw people in. The fireworks are amazing. The music in the middle, not so much, but it is sufficient, although it is not at the level that they had. And again, this goes back to, on the fireworks, they've probably spent close to $1 billion, maybe $800 million to do one fireworks show, then dismantle that fireworks show, then do this one. Then they didn't like the music, so they had to redo the soundtrack, hire somebody to do it totally over, and then reorchestrate that. So here we are, years and years and years later, and $800 million at least down, and they've got a fireworks show that I'm saying is adequate, but it's not as good as what they had. And that's Disney today. But where credit is due, I would give this show a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10, and I think it's enough to draw people back in. And at this point, that's a win
Well,
But
maybe they haven't invited the Pyrotechnics crew to the Reimagine Tomorrow program yet.
for Disney. You're right. They should get
I
that
just
going.
have to point out, Pro, have you seen this video of this nice young Imagineer talking about what Walt would think about the park?
Jonas, if you've got it in the ready, you're welcome
Yes.
to pull it up. I thought you might have this.
Listen carefully, folks.
Yep.
Oh, this was a mess.
Audio
Oh
up,
my.
Jonas.
Yes. Audio is up.
And Dreamer's Point is the antithesis of the idea that Walt had this incredible optimism and hope for the future. That if
Oops. I
Great
used
at
the wrong
Scrabble.
vocabulary.
Great at Scrabble,
Dreamer's
not great at the
Point
thesaurus.
is the antithesis of the idea that Walt. Dreamer's Point is the antithesis of the idea that Walt.
Oh my!
Look,
That
I'm sure
poor
she's a
girl.
nice. I'm
Freudian
sure she's a
slip.
nice lady.
Yeah, slightly
and
Freudian
she made a
slip.
mistake, and that's too bad. But the question
Yes.
is, Who decided to put this up anyway? Don't they
Yeah.
check anymore?
Right.
That's that. Yes,
Well,
exactly.
that's what I wondered. How did this actually get through compliance review? I mean, it's good lord.
Well,
Right.
it's like all the other stuff they've put up that has been sloppy and missing. Vash today on our other show was talking about the signage on when things were actually introduced into Disneyland, getting all the years and dates wrong.
Yes,
Well,
also
that's because
pointing out,
compliance review is coming out of China through TikTok.
this is
Probably
not,
one of those camps.
Yeah, this is just a long history of recent history of everything going wrong here. When they release things, they are almost always inaccurate. They just put the sign for the Walt Disney World Astro Orbiter on the Disneyland one. And one helpful thing is that, of course, social media calls them out on it. You would think they would have at least one person from the archives, or at least somebody like Joshua Harris. Just send
Yeah.
everything to Joshua Harris and
Yeah.
say, is this okay? It won't be. I'm just telling you, it won't be, because he knows more than you. But at least he can set you on the right path.
And by the way, Pro, you were talking about the new fireworks show and said it'll draw people in. The purpose of all the Disney fireworks show is not to draw people in, it's to keep people there till the very last minute so they keep spending money.
That's right, especially when those restaurants all around the lagoon need those patrons to be there wanting to watch the fireworks and getting those special fireworks
And do
packages.
special deals. On my farewell trip to Disneyland, we did the combination of special seating for Fantasmic with dinner at the Blue Bayou, and it was great. And they gave you, I still have them, I can send the pictures to you to show, special rubber Blue Bayou logoed seating pads to sit on the ground and watch the show. And they got a pretty good price for it, and you know what? It was worth it.
There you go. Overall, in this fireworks show, Illuminous, I would say that it shows that whoever is behind the actual pyro, still excellent, has the right stuff when it comes to that. The soundtrack leaves people desiring, and this costs way, 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 way too much, but it's there, and I do appreciate the synchronicity with Spaceship Earth. All right, folks, that's a wrap on the review. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope it helps you in making decisions in the future. Do you want to go to Epcot? Do you want to go to Disney World? Or are you going to go to Universal Studios instead? And I dare say, I bet many of you didn't expect me to give the fireworks an overall positive review, but it deserves it. The people who are over the pyro on that did a very good job, even if the soundtrack, especially in the middle, is lackluster. You have to give credit where credit is due, and that's what we do each and every time here on the channel. Jaded, we are not. Although, also, our eyes have not been blinded by the pixie dust. Folks, if you like content like this, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe. When you click it, you stick it on the algorithms. It's the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.